Ahoy, my friends, Ryder here, and welcome to another Final Fantasy VII Ever Crisis video. Today, I will be heading into the sealed tower of the Cetra and taking on floor 56. I think I'm going to be making a guide for each floor here. Keep in mind that I am not a free-to-play player, although I am definitely not a whale or anything of the such. I would say that I'm like somewhere between a minnow and a dolphin player. But that being said, I think that these strategies will overall help any player, honestly, going into this tower. So here is my team for taking on floor 56. So before we get into it, I'm just going to go into here. We're going to look at the battle effects. So for all of our allies, we're going to have Materia Command Ability Restoration minus 50%. So it looks like the gauge in which they charge is maybe slower by 50%. If you guys know exactly what this means, please let me know in the comments below. That way we can kind of all help each other out to get a better idea of what these things are. It looks like the enemy HP is boosted 120%. And the enemy magic attack is boosted plus 30%. Going into the actual enemy info, there is no like true boss that we have to take out. You can note this by the fact that there is no required sigils for any of these fights. So we are going to have the Cerulean Elemental. This one is pretty straightforward. He gives himself defense and Magus defense up with the Tremors of Ice, and basically you want to get his HP down to a certain percent, then he explodes and does damage to everything surrounding him. He's not going to be until the final wave, and we're actually going to take out the 2 bombs before him anyway with this strategy, so we don't really need to overlook it. Honestly, the Vaser Glow is not going to really be a problem. By the time I get to this enemy, I'm just going to be using his like kind of the point in which I'm fighting him as like kind of a healing phase to prepare for the final wave. But really the tough part about this fight are the bombs, the ice bomb and the fire bomb. And the way that we are going to deal with these is by using the fire breach and the ice breach. So if we go into here on Barret, you see that I have the ice breach here. This is going to make the bombs much easier to take down. If you don't have this, it's definitely doable for sure. My first run on beating this, I did beat it without both of these breach materias, but I was using the umbrella rod to debuff them. But there is materia that you can use instead of that as well. Either way, it just makes it so you do a little bit more damage. As you can see over here on Zack, I have Fire Breach. The reason I put them on Zack and Barret is just to free up Aerith because she is our healer. But then on Aerith, I also do have this healing Asuna poison, so I do have a single target heal on her. And then if we look here, I'm actually going to go over here to Zack, and I'm going to put the fire in this slot. So now we go back to everyone. You can see that for everyone's middle slot, I have a fire materia, and then on everyone's third slot, I have a blizzard materia. So definitely bring those in as much as you can. For Barret, I do have this flame projector right here, but it is a lower percent stat attack, 340%, and it does all enemies, which is not really going to do damage on, like, for example, if I'm using this on an ice bomb, it's not going to basically do nothing on the fire bomb. So I actually just opted for the heavy Hauser, which I have at level 80. All right, and then I'm just using the Lefko Kipseli here, just basically for stats. For Aerith, I have the Umbrella Rod and then the Fairy Tail. And then for Zack, I am using the Arc Sword, and then also the Ifrit Sword right here. Although most of the time I'm actually just going to be using Fyra instead. If you can bring physical damage dealers because they tend to do a little bit more in this fight. But I think for now this is going to work out as well as possible. So let's just get into the fight and I will show you guys where we go from here. I am going to be running this on manual, and I am going to be running this on normal speed. It makes it a lot easier to deal with these. So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to take down this bomb over here. So Barret's going to get the ice in peril right there. And then with Aerith, I'm just going to use Night Bloom. Alright, so he gets completely debuffed. And then we're not going to worry about healing this first phase. The thing with the bombs that you want to note is that once they get to a certain HP, they start using Explosive Force, which does an attack called Burst, which will basically wipe your party. So you basically want to kill them before they get off that attack. Now we're going to be going over to the Ice Bomb right here. I'm just going to use the Fire Breach, go back to Aerith, and before it gets too low, I'm going to use a Curaga with Aerith. Alright, get everyone a little bit topped off. And then we're just going to start doing as much damage as we can. because like I said, as soon as they hit that threshold where they start to cast, you need to kill them. They will wipe your entire team or close to it. All right, so here we have Zach right here. I'm going to switch over, hopefully save some ATB on Aerith. All right, and the first wave is going to go down just like that. All right, on the second wave, target the bomb first. Okay, so I'm going to use a heal right here, get everyone as close to the top as possible. And then we're just going to go through the same process. We're going to Ice Imperil, then I'm going to use Night Bloom on Aerith, and then we're just going to fire this guy down. With all of my characters, I always like to, if possible, have all the same elemental materials and stuff in the same slot, so that when I switch over to Zach right here, Blizzard is in the third slot. When I switch over to Barret, Blizzara Blow is in the third slot. All right, and hopefully we will take this guy down without having to use ATB. All right, perfect. Now I'm going to switch back over to Aerith. We're going to use this Vaser Glow as a moment to kind of heal back up. All right, because this guy is not as dangerous as the bombs. It's probably the easiest of all the things you have to fight. So I'm just going to slowly start. Zach is going to get the Fire Breach right there. I'm going to use Night Bloom right here in a second. All right, and then just try to keep your HP as high as possible going into the third round. Okay, so let's see here. Just going to go back to Aerith. We're just going to Curaga again. And Zach and Barret are going to do their thing on the DPS over there. I'll switch back over to Zach. We'll use Fire Breach one more time. Switch over to Barret, and we'll use Fire Blow. Back over to Aerith, and then I'm going to throw the Curaga right there. Okay. And as I steadily get it closer, right before we go into the third round, I'm going to use Healing Wind, just to fully set everyone up. Okay. So I'm going to try and get one more Curaga off, and then Healing Wind. All right, it's going to be very close. All right, so there's the Curaga. Here goes the Healing Wind. This is going to get us, basically everyone's going to be full health, except for Zach, it looks like. And we are going to take this guy out right here. All right, now going into the final round, you're going to want to breach both of the bombs as fast as possible. So for Zach, we're going to Fire Breach. Then we're going to switch back over to the Fire Bomb. We're going to Ice Imperil it. And it looks like Aerith just did Night Bloom. So I'm going to switch over to the Ice Bomb, and we're going to Night Bloom the second one, and then we're just going to immediately use the summons. All right, so there we go, Hellfire and Diamond Dust. This should more or less take care of the bombs. Once the bombs are gone, the match is basically over. All right, so the Ice Bomb is almost done. Here comes Shiva right here. Hopefully she will take down the Fire Bomb. All right, they're almost down. So we are just going to quickly take out the Ice Bomb, switch over to the Fire Bomb, and we're going to take him out. All right, and once they're done, the fight is basically over. You just have the Cerulean Elemental right here, which is not really a problem. I'm just going to, for safe keeping, I'm going to do one more Curaga, and then we're just going to bring him down. All right. But yeah, as you guys can see with this strategy, if you have the Fire Breach and the Ice Breach, which you can get from the Crisis medals, I highly recommend getting them. It can make a lot of the content in this game easier. All right, we're almost going to take this guy down right here. Switch over to Zach, switch over to Barret, and it should be done. All right, so yeah, with that strategy, the floor 56 of the Cetra Tower should be no problem for you guys. Like I said, if you're completely free to play and you don't have some of this stuff, I still think that the overall strategy going into this fight is going to be more or less the same. You take down the bombs one at a time, you know, get them imperiled and debuffed as much as you can, and then kind of blitz them down once they start to cast their burst ability. But overall, not too hard of a fight, and I hope this guide helps you guys out with taking down this floor of the tower. Like I said, I will be bringing more of these stage guides to you guys in the future, so I hope you guys appreciate them, and I hope they help you to clear the tower. That being said, I just want to thank all of you guys who like these videos, who comment on these videos, who leave your thoughts on the matter. I learn a lot from you guys actually, so I really appreciate all of the input and everything going into this. That being said, I hope this helps you guys out. I hope you all have a wonderful day. Take care and peace.